I'm back. Rodrance for the Black and White Network. Well, it is Saturday morning, and with Saturday morning comes the woke Twitter mob trying to cancel Bill Maher. Why? Because he decided to go against standard operating procedure, Democratic, woke, radical, leftist, progressive protocol. Now, look, Bill Maher is more of a classical liberal with some sprinklings of libertarian in there when it comes to his actual political ideologies. I've watched Bill Maher for probably 30 years, and most definitely Bill Maher is a lot like Joe Rogan in the fact that he's got a bad blind spot for Trump. He just does. He can't stand him. Joe Rogan can't stand him. I don't know why. It's neither here nor there, but for whatever reason, they both like Ron DeSantis. And last night, Bill Maher said a lot when it comes to where he's going to vote and where he feels the most freedom in this country. And it certainly is not directly connected to what the Democrats are doing right now. And a lot of people are pissed. He went to war over fat acceptance last night, and tied it into the fact that, look, obesity was one of the biggest culprits in killing people involving COVID. That was absolutely a thing. So let's go to this first. We're going to do the freedom thing because he talked about last night. You know, Gavin Newsom's running hit ads against Ron DeSantis. Now Ron DeSantis is firing back at Gavin Newsom in what many think will be a 2024 showdown for the presidency. Well, Bill Maher said a lot last night. This is Breitbart with a sprinkling of Twitter involved. On Friday's broadcast of HBO's Real Time, host Bill Maher reacted to California Governor Gavin Newsom's recent campaign ad in Florida, arguing that California is more in favor of freedom than Florida is, by saying that while Republicans are, quote, taking away people's freedom on abortion, that kind of makes it, quote, a whole new ball game. On the issue of freedom, Republicans can point to coronavirus restrictions, and stated he hasn't always felt free in California, while he has, quote, felt freer in Florida. Let's play this clip.
Freedom was like always their brand. But now, you know, abortion rights, taking away a freedom, it's kind of a new ballgame with that. So this is an ad that our governor, Gavin Newsom, ran in Florida. He said, freedom is under attack in your state. This is Gavin Newsom of California addressing the Florida voters. Your Republican leaders, they're banning books, making it harder to vote, restricting speech in classrooms, even criminalizing women. I urge all Florida to join the fight. Join us in California where we still believe in freedom. This is so opposite of what they used to do. Freedom of speech, freedom to choose, freedom from hate, freedom to love. Don't let them take your freedom. So I guess my question is, who's got the freedom fight now? Because I could see the Republicans saying, well, we stand up for your right to have your guns. We don't COVID bullshit mandates. You know, you have your freedom to be free. I certainly don't always feel free in this state, I must say, and I have felt freer in Florida. But who wins the...
So he came right out and said it's a whole new ball game, and he feels freer in Ron DeSantis' Florida. Let's be real. That's what we're talking about here. After reading Newsom's ad, so my question is, who's got the freedom right now? I certainly don't always feel free in this state, I must say, and I have felt freer in Florida. Well, it takes another step in all of this. I'm going to vote based on COVID policy. Dems need to be careful with private healthcare decision rhetoric. Now, he also come out, Democrats need to be careful when they argue that they support people, quote, making private healthcare decisions, because there are people who are going to vote based on COVID policy. Yeah, it affects all kinds of things, including their kids particularly involved in school. I'm one of them, and I don't even have kids. It's a medical issue. I do not want to be dictated. I must insist that you don't insist on how to handle my health.
They're all against that. I certainly. But private health care decisions. Be careful with that phrase. I read in the front page of the New York Times this week, there is a new voting bloc, a new constituency, anti-mandate. They said mostly parents. But these are people who are not going to vote based on Republican or Democrat. They're going to vote based on COVID policy. I'm one of them, and I don't even have kids. It's a medical issue. I do not want to be dictated. There is no the science, especially in medical science. You can recommend whatever you like, but I must insist you don't insist how I handle my health.
Okay, so he just come right out and said there's a new voting bloc, and it's anti-mandate. He doesn't want people telling him how to handle his health. And he's saying it's not Republican, it's not Democrat. And he said, that is the way I'm going to be voting. So that tells you right there, I'm freer in Florida, and I'm not voting based on party anymore. I'm voting based on which sons of bitches want to restrict me and my freedoms and mandates. He said, I don't even have kids. But this is a big deal. I know he cannot stand anything to do with COVID. He came out last night. He slammed the fact that so many people in this country are being very accepting of things like being fat. Like being fat's okay. Being fat's cool. No, it's not cool. And how much it affected people that ended up getting COVID. Let's take a little listen to this.
Is the leading cause of mortality in the United States. The New York Times. Okay. Of course, we're talking about heart disease and cancer and diabetes, but also, as COVID has taught us, obesity is horrible for the immune system.
Yeah.
Which is why those numbers were off the charts during the pandemic. That's a catastrophe. It's literally a national security issue now. Military recruitment is down by the most since the end of the draft because mainly 17 to 24-year-olds are too fat to fight.
I mean, look, he's just telling it like it is. And, of course, the woke mob is furious with Bill Maher this morning. Cancel him. Give John Oliver 2 hours. Yada, yada, yada. He's running the gamut of being canceled again every Saturday morning that Bill Maher actually has a show on Friday. We wake up and he's being canceled by the woke mob, the radical mob on Twitter. But there's key things to take away last night. I will no longer vote based on party. I will vote based on freedom tied to who is not mandating things involving COVID. Bill Maher's been very outspoken on that. And the other thing that you can take away is when it comes to Gavin Newsom or Ron DeSantis running freedom ads, I have felt freer in Florida than I have in California, which is where he lives right now. By the way, when he came back to do his stand-up show, Adulting, he did it in Florida. That's where he went, and he said, I've got to be honest with you, those people were much more accepting to me and what it is I've got to say than anybody in his state right now. I mean, they're trying to cancel him this morning. So, while I fully acknowledge, and I've talked about the fact that, I really don't care what Rogan and Bill Maher's got to say about Trump because it's not going to affect me in voting for Trump. I'm going to get in the booth, and I'm going to put the check mark next to Trump's name, and I'm going to go on with life. But there are key takeaways, and guys like Rogan and Maher have a strong voice out there, and they will absolutely reach people in the middle. They will reach people in the middle. And they have both been positive about Ron DeSantis, a conservative now. Ron DeSantis is running an American First agenda, and they have both talked about how they think he could be a good president in this country. So, I know we do a lot of pro-Ron DeSantis stuff on this channel, but the fact is, the two best voices we have on our side in politics right now is Donald Trump and is Ron DeSantis. Plain and simple. And when you get what were classic liberals, saying now, you know what? I'm pretty positive about at least somebody in the other party. It's a very different situation. Politics has changed completely. I mean, it's a different ball game these days than it was, say, 10 years ago. I mean, it just is. You know, that second term of Obama kind of woke a lot of people up, right? And then it just got progressively worse. I mean, you know. Tell me what you think, Black and White Network supporters. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now.